Wonderful morning to everyone. This is Pre Market Outlook discussion for the day, the first day in the second week. This is 8th of June 2026. This is going to be an opportunistic oriented day. Of course, those who have been waited for the investment based opportunity can be started from today. And for those who want to take benefit about the swing range what the Nifty and the Sensex has been maintaining, can also get some opportunity in the way of building shorts. By the way, whenever it is trying to retrace or break down, what we can summarizingly tell the thing about markets outlook for this entire week, maybe through the way of holding the high and low of the recent Wednesday's one, that has been described as the minor and the latest one as a key date and its impact basis. Before that, it was the 1st of June one, the 29th May, and the major one was amongst these key dates we have been discussing. This 21st of May's high and low will be very crucial to determine the near to short term trend even. That means near term in the sense up to 1 month, the short term in the sense up to 3 months. Between this near to short term trend, if the Nifty again breaks and closes consecutively above the high or below the low, if it is keep sustaining and attracting the selling while it is trying to approach the low or above the low, it is trying to close of 21st May's levels or ranges. There we can consider about the trend has not been changed yet, and it is still attracting selling around the even the important dates low level as a resistance. Immediately it has been feeling like there one can start building the shorts, buying the put options, and by the way of reducing your existing long positions or booking some profits even in them by utilizing the bounce if any market gives from this zone to 21st May's low. Afterwards, it can be also towards high. So based on previous week, the market somewhat maintained to close on a flat manner. But anyhow, the tendency and the bias stands on the weaker side. Particularly post the midweek during Friday and Thursday, after Wednesday's high and low, the market was not in control to get the directional trade as well as to give the cushion for any long build-up signs. So these and all based on the review based activities based or behavior basis one, we have studied and giving you as an output. Since already the re-escalation of geopolitical tensions between the regions of US, Israel and Iran, there has been a renewed pressure and tensions being created and spread across the economy as well as in the markets. The markets are now going to feel as a reflection or reactions for the current renewed escalations about the war kind of activities. But based on the behavior it has already observed, learned, it will not be any serious thing as long as the Nifty holds 23,150 on daily candle, and even though it is trying to bounce back towards the recent swing high and all, this 23,150 should not get even a break. So that is very core behavior based approach one should observe and act. What it happens if 23,150 get broken means we can see and get the signal of the Nifty moving towards 22,800 levels as the next range-based or swing-based downside target for the Nifty. If it is so, between 22,800 as a next downside target after breaking 23,150, it is about to 400 points. That may be happening only after breaking below 23,150 as the support. But no need to get immediately jump and build the short positions buying the put options like. One can wait. Those who want to play safely can wait after breaking below 23,150. You can actually check any retracement toward 23,250 at least 100 points. And even though it is having the negativity, the probability will be there for the bounce back activities. And 23,250 can be treated as a first chance of or first area of building the shorts. And with an extension of pullback, if any happens, 23,350 will be the key one for the markets. Above that point, there is very less probability through bouncing back. So the second stage of or accumulation stage of short buildups can be done during 23,350. So that is what the strategies for the positional traders. What it may be for the intraday, that and all will be discussed. Before that, we'll be just seeing how the things based on the key dates, high and all, low will be working out for today's trend as well as for the positional through the way of showing the Nifty chart. So we'll be sharing the Nifty chart to make you understand and aware about the behavior, how the markets are going to react. Just see, this is what the current Nifty's daily time frame basis candle formations. The important thing what we have been pronouncing is just an instance. We need to explain a good thing about the behavior, what it has been done and how it is going to be like. See, for an instance, you can take this Wednesdays because this is the recent key date and the high and low is still acting. You can even now get the chance of understanding this. See the high, particularly this Wednesday one. See the high was 23,459. Low was 23,151.50. Even before happening this, we have mentioned in our report and discussed during the meet that the 23,150 will be the core immediate support. Like on Wednesday last week, it has given the low like this, just 1.5 point short, and with that support it has clearly taken a chance to bounce back towards the high of 23,000 around 500 zone. So it has closed around 23,400. So that was the power of this 23,150 support. You can even refer the reports what you have provided before this Wednesday's session and all happens. So that was acted no. So the first confirmation you can take the 23,150. Then what you should consider about the behavior in the consecutive sessions, how it has happened like. You just check it. The high of Wednesday's 23,459 got broken on Thursday, 4th of June. But how it has closed, the close was near to the high point of Wednesday's one. The close was 23,416. Because of that, a meager point of short of levels it had while closing, it could not even till make a close above the Wednesday's high. This is how the importance to be noted, how it has been acting like. This Wednesday's high could not be even closed on the daily candle as we have predicted till now, even though 2 sessions followed with. And after taking the positive close about the Nifty's one, even though it has fallen and coming back to the opening levels, over the opening levels it has closed. Then the Friday's one should be taken into consideration through the way of analyzing and through the way of observing the behavior very carefully. See, the high made was 23,516, more than the Thursday's one and comfortably above the Wednesday's high. But what happens here also, it has not closed above the Wednesday's high. That was 459. The close was 366, 23,366. This is what the power of the important dates high and low. So even though the attempts were being made, it could not even close on a single candle of daily time frame, which makes the nervousness about approaching the important dates high and low. That too for the recent key date was the 3rd of June, formed on Wednesday last week. So that should be here also considered because it has not fulfilled, no? So until it is getting fulfilled by the way of getting a close consecutively 2 sessions on the daily frame, above this point, every rise can be utilized and you can see from there the behavior, what it is based on the formation telling means you just look out the trend line we have plotted on the chart. See, the important thing is it is actually continuously forming the higher high as well as lower low. So this formation until persisting on the chart, the sell on rise will be hardly working on or resulting into, and the trend line what it is telling before crossing on the closing basis about the Wednesday's one and the high basis about the 29th May. So that was also described as the key date. So that 29th high and low, if for an instance, if it is trying to come inside the low or breaking the resistance of 23,485, that was the low of 29th May. If it is trying to come inside this low point and trying to build any resilience or any stability, where you can see this 29th low, even though getting approached by the way of coming inside, the sustainability will be very tougher one for the Nifty to take into control. And if it is coming above the 29th May's low point of 23,485 but could not sustain while closing the day, means whenever it may be, until it is getting struggled by closing above this low point of 29th May, you can see the sell on rise will be aggressively acting and trying the Nifty to tilt down towards the recent low. So if means from 29th low of 23,484 or anywhere between the 23,484 and 24,000 range of 29th high and low, wherever it can be, until it is closing at least above this low point, one cannot expect the proper way of bouncing back a recovery kind of activities. There you can see the resistance where it is actually plotted may be acting crucially and make the Nifty from this point to even 500 to 700 points of falling down or retesting can be seen on the chart. So until it is holding 23,150 as the support, the selling can be seen only based on the rejections. Once it breaks and closes consecutively 2 sessions on the daily time frame, the selling also can be seen based on the breakdown. So in both way, we are having the visibility on the chart about the selling activities. But for the day only, one can utilize as long as the 23,150 is kept by the Nifty. Day traders can keep that as a strict stop loss, that is 23,150, and then one can build the moderate level of long position by putting or mentioning or having the target about to 23,300 to 400 zone. That is enough, not exactly to the high of 459. So that may not be needed here. So that can be utilized for the day traders. But overall, the positional setups clearly stating based on the formation, based on the price actions, and more about the behavior, what it has indicated means it is still attracting the selling based on rejections, even though it is keeping the support safe and giving the spike and recovering back has become now new normal for the markets. Whenever it is trying to break the earlier supports, it has proven that, see, the low and all bigger day happened and the supports and all clearly kept by the way of rising moderately up. Whenever it is happening, these things are not happening. Whenever the supports are getting broken, even though here the support clearly getting broken but not closed and it has risen towards this zone. So this is a pattern of forming the higher highs, that means lower highs and lower lows. If it is forming like this, if the trend formation is continued further means as like here, the lower highs and the lower lows will be moving the trend towards further downward with a triangle getting formed, and the direction may be soon the Nifty or Sensex will be getting. There you can consider until it is giving that kind of direction confirmation, one can keep the sell on rise based on the rejection and based on the levels we have provided, and the strategy of sell on rise can be also deployed to make utilization of the range behavior for the Nifty. That's it. So we can now coming back to the pre-market discussion. The benchmark indices are expected to open a clearly lower opening we can expect on the Nifty and Sensex based on the pessimisms clouded, that too based on the renewed escalations of tensions between the geopolitical area of US, Israel and Iran. After opening, we can see the trend may be loitering anywhere between the broad range of 23,150 to 23,350. Volatility will be expected and the consolidation may be also, but the thing will be until it is holding 23,150, it will try to move towards the 23,350 as the resistance, and even towards 23,450 can also be seen. So roundly you can mention that as 23,500 once the 23,350 zone broken on the higher side. Conversely, if the 23,150 gets broken on the downside, one should give the serious attention for the Nifty, because if the closing happens below 23,150, even though there are bouncing back activities seeing on the chart, the action of breaking down below 23,000 also can be seen, and 22,800 may be set as a target on positional front, which may not be for the day trading. Positionally, as long as simple, one can understand in the way that as long as Nifty is trading below 23,700 as an interim behavior shift zone, no one can determine the trend as reverse line. It is still on the bearish control, and one can keep the sell on rise kind of approach for the positional traders. Sectors wise, one can focus on energy, oil and gas as a core, IT also as a core. One can check, since the IT index is losing its grip on consolidating, and it may be trying to hit hard by the way of fresh short buildups, as well as the sell off can also be expected through the way of recent highs profit booking and the long awaited retracement that was met by the IT index in the recent sessions, that may be get utilized through the way of booking profits. So overall, the IT sector may be in the way of attracting this selling. Metal, as the overall commodities are getting impacted because of this crude oils and forex, that means INR, USD kind of difficulties. The markets may give up some gains and may even attract much of selling above the previous behavior which has witnessed by the metal index. So the metal also be in focus for attracting the selling in particular. Pharmaceuticals can be focused by the way of building long, and the short buildups can be reduced, and the mid cap and small cap oriented pharma may be in high focus than the large cap. Finally, it is bank along with some financial services or finance stocks also be in focus. Until it is Nifty holding 23,150, bank, particularly the private bank and mid and small cap oriented public banks can be expected to give some hands about bouncing back through the way of building longs. On the stock front, based on news, the Hindustan Zinc, Alembic Pharma, National Aluminium, Adani Green Energy, Z Entertainment, HG Infra Engineering are the stocks the day traders can focus on. So that's it for the today's pre-market discussion. Do not forget to maintain stop loss as a stricter one on all the transactions you are going to do. So that's it from today's pre-market discussion. We can now concentrate on market, which is going to open short. Wish everyone to have, of course, as initially stated, this is an opportunistic or a fortune day for all the traders, particularly those who are positionally awaited for building shorts. Thank you for participating. We'll be meeting again in tomorrow's one. Then wish everyone to have a fortune. Thank you.